Hey, my name's Campbell and welcome to the Evolve Your Excel video course. We're going to be going through a lot about Excel and all of it's going to be applied to what you can use in the business world. Firstly, I'd like to introduce myself and my background. I come from a finance background. I worked in corporate finance, in corporate valuation, and in financial modeling. I've been able to learn a lot about Excel and I'm looking forward to passing that on to you through this course. You can think of Excel kind of like grid paper back in old primary school math class. With grid paper, you can put one digit into each box and it makes doing multiplication, division, subtraction a lot easier. In Excel, you put one value or one formula into each cell and you can do math between those cells much more easily. I want to explain to you Excel hierarchy. When you have the whole file, that's called a workbook. A workbook is comprised of a number of individual worksheets. Each worksheet has a number of cells. And in those cells, you can have values, you can have formulas, you can have links to other cells. Another part of Excel workbooks are charts. Now these are standalone objects, but they'll be linked to cells in your workbook. You can also include shapes and other images as well.
So this is an entire workbook. It's what the whole file is called. And a workbook's actually just a collection of individual worksheets. So we can add a worksheet, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So each of these worksheets are saved within the workbook. On each of your worksheets, there's a number of cells. So down these rows and across these columns, we have these individual cells. Then in these cells, you can put a value, say 10. You could put a formula, say, give me the sum of all these numbers, even though they're blank at the moment. So that is a function. You could have a formula, which would be 10 plus, this one happens to be 0, so it'll still be 10, but that's just a formula, just a math formula. And then you can have links to other cells. So you could, the most basic one is that this cell, which is cell A4, just equals whatever in cell A1, so 25. Now, the beauty of Excel is that you can type in an equation once and then drag it across to do a number of calculations for you. So an example of that would be if you had a row of, say, income and a row of expenses. You could type in a formula once, and in theory this one would be profit. And all you have to do is, let's make it bold for this example, instead of typing that equation in under every cell or copy and pasting it, all you need to do is drag that across. So if you're doing that with the mouse, it would look like this. And that's the beauty of Excel. You can do large calculation blocks at once. And this is a simple example, but we'll get into the real uses later on. And finally, in Excel, one of the best things you can use is charts. So I'm just going to increase these numbers slightly so we see a little bit of chart variation. Here we can select these numbers. Now this is a little bit incomplete, but the beauty of Excel is that you can insert charts. This one might be good as a line chart. Ta-da! And charts are standalone items, but they'll live on a worksheet.